talk about coding. Why is it important for people to learn at a very young age? How you and most of your friends learn to code. Well, what is knowing how to code, first of all? It's like knowing how to program. That has a lot of meanings, right? Most common type of coding in Silicon Valley and in the Bay Area and in sort of other major startup hubs is understanding how to build an app or build a product in software, obviously, right? So usually it's like web-based or mobile-based or whatever. The point is that knowing how to control a computer by telling it what to do through code is one of the fundamental skills of the 21st century. Everybody knows that technology and computers are taking over the world. In a few decades, I believe that there are going to be two classes of people: those who know how to code, who know how to control computers, and those who don't. If you don't know how to code, you're going to be at a disadvantage. I'm not saying that you should be a professional software engineer for your entire life, but I think that it's possible to have a career doing something that you love, but still understand computing and understand computers and understand programming. My belief is that the type of structure and logic and analysis and thought that's required to build computer programs is really useful for just being a generally effective human being. So understanding how to make something happen, how to create an algorithm, or how to hook something up is just a very powerful way of thinking. At the same time, another sort of point of view on knowing how to code is that uniquely it's a skill that allows you to create something from scratch. So I think that this culture of making and building is something that a lot more children should be learning when they're young and should be taught more from elementary school all the way up to college. I'm not talking about studying a fact and memorizing it. I'm talking about being creative and building something from zero. So it's like thinking an idea up in your head and then having the power in your own hands with your computer to make it a reality and to make it something that other people can use. I think that type of thought about self-empowerment and creation and making and building is one of the most powerful narratives that Silicon Valley has to convey to the rest of the world. And if more people took that type of entrepreneurial initiative and just made things, I think the world would be a much better place, because then you could make solutions to your problem. One very common thing to do with software is if you face an inconvenience, I need to store my contacts in a certain way, but there's nothing good out there to do it. I could just create a simple web app for me to do myself, and that's possible if I know how to code. And who knows, maybe other people would also find that extremely useful, and then I could sell it, and maybe it'll become a business if it's good enough, right? So again, to be clear, I'm not advocating that everybody become a full-time programmer and make money doing it as an engineer. What I'm advocating is that people should understand computers, should understand code, and should understand programming. And a lot of that is just tinkering with stuff on the side, right? I started making websites when I was 9 or 10 just because it interested me. So I've made all my websites. So I started by making my personal website. I started, just by getting interested in what other people were building and in designing things. And as I went through more and more versions of my website, it started looking better and better and better. And it was a place online for me to express myself, because this was my home online, and this is where other people are going to come to look me up. So what kind of image do I want to project? If I know how to code, if I know how to design, I can control that, and that's really awesome.